Alright, so last weekend I did my first oil change on my 2018 Elantra. Uh, you're supposed to do an oil change every 5,000 miles. At least that's what the owner's manual says. And it's been a little bit over 5,000 miles, so I said I might as well go ahead, get all the materials, and do it myself because the cheapest other place to do it was Walmart for about $59. Some places were charging upwards of $200 for a simple oil change just because it was synthetic. And I understand that while some people may not want to, you can save yourself literally 90% of that cost just by learning how to do it yourself. So I'm going to go over the things that I bought for this oil change. And right now you see me putting my car on car ramps. That's just because I had car ramps in the past because I did maintenance on other vehicles, specifically for my family members. But you can still use a jack and jack up both sides and put it on a jack stand, which is what you'll see in most other videos. So I put it on the car ramps. I'm going to drive it up, and then you'll see me talking about the different things I bought. First, of course, you have to get oil. The type of oil you need will be in your manufacturer's guide. I got a filter puller. I got an actual oil filter. I got a drain plug gasket in case I need to change mine, and I got a catch pan to catch the oil when it comes out, and some wipes. So now you're going to see me go to the top of the vehicle. The vehicle is already on the ramps, and I've let it cool down a little bit. First thing I did was just check my current oil level. I take out the little dipstick, I wipe it off, I put it back in, and then I check where the oil is. And I saw that my oil was at about the halfway mark. I did walk away from the car for a little bit because my little brother was asking me, hey, what's oil? What are you doing? And I was explaining to him that the oil is similar to blood in our body. If we don't have blood in our body, we can't function. Same thing with the car. A car doesn't have blood, but it has oil. I was trying to make it very simple so he could understand how important it was. But after that, I came back, I checked the oil level, and I took off the actual oil cap. It's normally on top of the car, and I have a very short video after I wipe my hands off showing you exactly what I'm doing. As you can see, I'm turning it right now, and you want to do this to release any extra pressure. Plus, it just makes that the oil comes out smoother and quicker when you're underneath, making sure it goes in the actual catch pan. That's the cap, and now I'm going to show you a small video of what it looks like from directly above, just so nobody is confused as to what I just did. Again, here's an example of me taking that cap off before I actually go under the car for the oil change. Now's the fun part. You actually crawl under the car that's still on the ramps, and you want to locate what you're looking for. So I'm going to show you, I'm crawling under, I'm turning upside down, and I'm actually looking at the oil filter right now. Mine has a white bottom, yours may have a black bottom, but it's located directly underneath the middle of the front. Next thing I'm pointing at is the oil drain plug right there. It's marked with blue, thankfully. In this photo, I have a socket wrench with a 17 millimeter socket on it, and I'm going to loosen the drain plug that had that blue mark from the previous picture. Now, once it is loosened, don't take it all the way off, but you want to slowly make sure you take it off while having the catch pan underneath. Again, the oil is going to come out very quickly, so just make sure you have the catch pan underneath and you have the little cap on the catch pan off so it can start catching the oil. See, it came out pretty quickly. Next, we take off the oil filter that had the white bottom. Just remember, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Now that we've taken the oil drain plug out and the oil filter off, we're going to leave the catch pan under the oil until it stops. Then we're going to take both things from underneath the car. Now you can see that I'm just verifying that they're close in size, that I have the right part. And what I'm going to do now is use some of the old oil, just put it on my finger and rub it around the actual seal of the new one. That white filter is the old one, the black one is the new one. See, I'm dipping my finger in oil, rubbing it around the seal, just so that when I put it back on the bottom, it doesn't get stuck the next time I need to do another oil change. Pretty simple. Now, with the oil that you just bought, that's specific for your car, you're going to fill up the oil filter. You can only do this if your oil filter goes in vertically. Right, mine was going straight up into my engine. some go sideways, and if it's going sideways into your engine, it'll spill out. So since mine is vertically mounted, I'm going to fill up the oil filter and I'm going to go ahead and put it back on the vehicle. Now, while you're doing this is the perfect time to actually check other things. You want to see if there's metal shavings in your oil, which means bigger issues inside the engine. For the oil drain plug that I pulled out, you want to make sure that the gasket is still good. If it's not, go ahead and change it out. These are the perfect times to go ahead and optimize your car, which is a machine, so that it can last you longer. Now we're going to put the new oil filter on, and we're going to put the drain plug back in the vehicle. Remember, righty tighty, lefty loosey. So you're turning everything right and you're hand tightening it. Now is what we've been waiting for. We're going to put the new oil in our vehicle. If you look up your car on Google, it'll tell you how much liquid goes in there. I believe mine was 5.2 quarts. I could be wrong, it could be 4.8. I'm making this voiceover a couple weeks after I did the video. But just make sure you look it up and you buy enough for your vehicle. You don't want to overfill it and you don't want to underfill it. Both have big issues that they will bring to your vehicle. So make sure you pour in the correct amount and you actually just do what you're supposed to do, right? Remember, if your car says 4.2 quarts or 4.2 liters or whatever it may say, do not put 10 liters in your car. You will have issues. If your car says 5 liters or 5 quarts, don't put 2 liters or 2 quarts. You will have issues. Remember, oil to a car is like blood to a human. So all we're doing now is we're filling the car up, and then once we fill it up, we're going to put the cap back on. We're going to let it run for a little bit, and we're going to check our oil levels with our dipstick. Again, my little brother was around asking questions, so every now and again I would stop and answer his questions about what an oil change is. I showed him what the old oil looked like. I showed him what an oil filter was. It was a cool bonding moment. But the overall goal right now is just to make sure that we put in the correct amount of quarts or liters that your vehicle needs so that it can run optimally and we don't have any issues. Right now you can see I'm checking the dipstick after I put oil in, and we're going to keep going from there. Alright, so I do want to ask, have you guys ever done your own oil change? Do you find it more convenient to just pay someone to do it? Or do you actually like saving the money when you do an oil change? Let me know in the comments below. As you can see, I just added in the last bit of oil before we actually close everything up. And we're actually going to go underneath and make sure that there are no leaks in the system. A leak would simply come from, let's say, I didn't put the oil filter on all the way, or it isn't tight enough. Or maybe even the oil drain plug. Maybe I didn't hand tighten it all the way. And once I start the car, the oil is finding that spot or that gap and leaking out. The one thing you do not want is an oil leak. It can only get worse. So now you see I'm moving the camera back, and I'm actually going to go ahead and go under the car, take a look, and make sure that there isn't any dripping. So first thing you want to do is turn on the vehicle. Very simple. That way the oil can start pushing around in the system. It can go to all the places that it's missing, and we'll actually be able to start looking for said leaks if there are any. Of course, I don't want leaks. I don't like not doing something right the first time and having to redo it. Just kind of the person I am. So I have the car running, and now I'm going to go ahead and get underneath, and I'm going to look for leaks. Of course, I'm looking in the areas where the oil filter was and where that drain plug was. So you can either just sit there and look and watch for a little bit, or you can crawl back under and see what's going on. I'm pretty sure I do a little bit of both because I want to verify that the job is correct. And that's really all this comes down to. An oil change is just 1, looking up your vehicle, 2, gathering the parts you need, which is going to be the type of oil and an oil filter. I recommend getting a gasket for your oil drain plug as well, just because they get bad at over time. And then of course there are some extra tools that'll help you. Car ramps aren't necessary, but it's a little easier than car jacks. And then of course you just need a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears. So hopefully this helped you with your first oil change, or this helped you just make sure you're doing it right. I'm doing a little visual right here to make sure nothing is leaking down. The final thing we're going to do is reset our oil counter in our car. We're simply going to find the setting, hold the reset button, and it's going to reset to 5,000 miles. So hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you're able to do your first oil change and save yourself some money. Peace.